Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Serrano. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for subscribing. And today we're going to talk about the LG K50s as well as the BLU G90. Are at a budget of around $200. You may be in the market for one of these two devices, and now they're both offering some really good features that I do want to compare as well. G90 is a really big device. It does offer a really nice back cover. We also do get the LG K50s, which is actually military grade standard, meaning that it can withstand drops and endure harder falls than most phones can, which is actually something that's really interesting. Now, both of these devices are actually 6.5-inch display screens, which is interesting because they're both going to be the same exact size as far as dimensions go. But one of the other things is that you're getting HD plus on the BLU device, so it's actually, they're both 720 displays, but the G90 is going to give you 1600 by 720. Now the LG K50s does have a nice display as well, but this one will be giving you 1520 by 720 display. So just keep that in mind, that this one is a little bit more pixel dense in that regard. Now, when it comes to the overall cameras, we are getting a higher pixel count on the G90. Now, on the LG K50s, we are getting a 13 megapixel. Then they both record in 1080 as well. Now, on the 4 gigabytes of RAM on the G90 and 3 gigabytes of RAM on the LG K50s, which means more apps will be able to stay open in the background, and a little bit higher performance as well when it comes to game clock speed and overall movement. When it comes to games, you will notice some smoother frames. However, we're gonna go ahead and test that out to see if it's actually true. Let's go ahead and test out the fingerprint sensors right now. Exact same time. Let's do that one more time. And here we go. So slightly quicker on the BLU G90. So also I want to talk about the overall battery that we're getting. We're getting 4000 milliamp hour batteries on both of these devices, which is going to be good. It's going to be solid. Now, I did notice that this device actually lasts really long as well as this one. So solid battery life on both devices. I didn't have any issues when it came to the battery life on either of these devices. The G90 is actually going to be listed at 130, whereas the LG K50s started at 200, and it's pretty much going to be working its way between 180 and 200. Now, as far as the overall processing and OS on both of these devices go, the G90 will have Android 10, meaning that you're going to be getting the latest software right now. The LG K50s does have the Android 9 OS, but this Android 11 is right around the corner, so I'm not sure if they're going to be getting any major security updates. But as far as the processing chips that we're getting on both of these devices, you're going to be seeing that we're getting a MediaTek Helio P22, which is a 12 nanometer on the LG K50s. So it's going to be a decent processing chip, and I did notice that there were some decent performance on this phone, so I was able to game smoothly with it without encountering any major issues, belly aches, or major complaints or anything crucial. Now, as far as the processing chip on the G90, we are getting the Helio P25, which is a 12 nanometer processing chip, and it also does have a powered GE8320. So they're both actually pretty decent when it comes to the overall processing power, overall bodies and battery and display. So I wanted to talk more about these phones in a little bit more detail as far as cameras and features goes, because some people may be wanting to do more than just browse the internet. Maybe you want to use your device to take photographs or even use it as a heavy gaming device. So I'll let you know, as far as gaming goes, you won't be able to play. You'll be able to play mainly games on medium to low graphics, such as PUBG and Call of Duty, on both of these devices, and they will be able to handle most games. I even was able to play NBA 2K20 on the G90, which was really impressive. I tested out some games on the LG K50s as well, and it did perform up to par. Now, as far as the camera setup on the LG K50s, we're getting a triple camera setup where it's leaded by a 13 megapixel, followed by an ultra wide 5 megapixel. Included in the package is a 2 megapixel along with it, which is a depth sensor as well. With a camera configuration on the G90 is actually pretty critical as well. We're getting a 16 megapixel rear camera, 8 megapixel when it comes to ultra wide angle, and as far as the third 2 megapixel depth sensor. So they're both handling the camera game in the budget department pretty strong. Batteries are also pretty strong as well. One of the things you should note is that you will be getting facial unlock on the G90. They removed it on the LG K50s. Now, as far as special features on both of these devices, there's not NFC on either one of these. They both have a really nice finish, although this one will be able to sustain many more drops than the G90, because this one feels a little bit less premium. So you're definitely going to be able to sustain a lot more drops with this device. It's also military grade, which means that it's a little bit higher standard and quality when it comes to being able to be impacted. It won't break when it comes to drops on the ground. Now, as far as the overall like Geekbench scores on both of these devices, I did actually test. Do get a 139 on both devices single core. Now, as far as multi-core score goes, the 4 gigabytes of RAM shows that it's improving the overall performance of the G90 in a substantial way, giving it 843 versus 496. As far as the bottoms of both of these phones, we are both surprisingly getting Type-C, which is actually something that I come to actually really like. And also something that's also really nice is that the headphone jacks and speakers are at the bottom, which is something that I like when they put the headphone jack at the bottom, because when you tuck your phone in, it gets out of the way of everything else. Now at the top, we have a noise cancellation mic on the LG K50, but nothing on the G90. And what's actually pretty cool is that on the LG K50s, this time around, they also do add a Google Assistant button on the left-hand side. So what is the latest news right now?
Here's your news update this evening.
All right, so you could ask it anything. I think a podcast just came on.
I have to CBS Radio News.
Both of these devices, honestly, when I've come to use them in my time with them, I've gotten really good camera shots as far as using both of these devices. Even the stills on the LG K50s were nice. If you take a look at the community section, I posted a photo of this phone being shot outdoors, which was really impressive. The cameras, you got night mode, pro mode, 96 megapixels binning for extra added photo enhancement, which is really nuts. So I really like that the G90 offers so many different features: slow motion, time lapse. The wide angle on both of these cameras is also cool. You can interchangeably use it as well. So I think that they added that in there nicely. Now, my final thoughts on both of these devices, they're really good. They both perform really well. I didn't think I talked about the front-facing cameras. The front-facing cameras are actually pretty decent as well. You're getting a 13 megapixel single camera on the LG K50s and a 13 megapixel camera on the LG G90. So similar performance, but as far as the Geekbench scores goes, the extra gigabytes of RAM definitely does help out with the G90, giving it the slight edge. However, we are getting Bluetooth 5.0 on here, which will give you a boosted audio enhancement when it comes to the DTS mode, which only works with the headphone jack. But on my LG Stylo 6, it does work with the Bluetooth as well. So hopefully you guys did find this helpful. It's your boy Serrano. This is the K50s versus the G90. I'll see you guys later. Peace.